It's Friday.
Howdy, folks.
Happy Friday the 13th.
It's Friday the 13th.
In October.
In October.
Friday the 13th in October. Some shit is going to come to life, ladies and gentlemen. We know that's going to happen. Some fucking wild ass shit is going to happen tonight. Not only do we have wild ass shit happening, I'm sure, and some wicked voodoo magic in there, there's going to be, we've got a Kickstarter that's going live tonight. Like now, even. Holy crap. Is it now? It's now.
Hit the button.
We're going to hit the button. And we're going to
dun.
insanity. Well, it's funny. We took, what did we take? Literally took 6 weeks to work on all kinds of stuff. We took a bunch of time off. How's it going? We took some time off, and our good buddy Steph Wilson has been teasing me for like 2 weeks about not having a Kickstarter. I don't know that we haven't worked on a project live with people it's been ages since we haven't done it. You know what I mean? Like, it really has been ages since we haven't done it. Right now I'm elbows deep in packages because we're shipping all kinds of stuff all over the world right now.
I am hopeful. I figure mine is probably somewhere in that loaded pile to be sent.
Yours is literally right next to my ankle right now, and we'll go out tomorrow morning.
It's trying to bite your ankle. Mail me.
Well, there's only, I think there's only 20 copies of If It Hops left to go out. Outside of replacement copies that I'm waiting to come in for a couple orders. But because well, for those
saving the best for last, apparently.
When books come in and they're shrink wrapped together. Sometimes when books move in the packages, when they're shrink wrapped, you'll get a really nasty roll. Doesn't matter who the fuck your printer is. I don't care who your printer is. This happens to everyone. So you'll get a really nasty roll. All of our Marissa Pope covers got a nasty ass roll in them.
Oh, that sucks.
I had to reorder all the Marissa Pope covers, so, but it's all good because they'll be here in no time at all. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's talk about where they dwell.
Dun, dun, dun.
Holy balls, where they dwell. Nate, did you get a copy of that?
Where they dwell?
The script, or
I read that script months ago.
Okay, so let me know what you think of the concept of where they dwell. Give me the breakdown, the big old Nate breakdown of what you think about where they dwell.
Exorcist meets John Constantine in a bar, but they find themselves in a house later on, and then they have to figure out what to do because there's a big baddie inside the house.
That sounds about right. I prefer to look at it like Poltergeist, and all kinds of wild shenanigans, and The Exorcist. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of The Exorcist. I'm a big fan of Constantine. But just like everything else, we have to do it different. It can't be like what anybody else does. And where they dwell actually stands for that place that the person that is possessed goes when they're possessed. We always hear these stories like from the outside perspective, and you always see like the demon and what it's doing. But where do these people go is what I've always wondered. Where are they at when this is going on? Can they see? Can they feel? What is their own personal purgatory like? So that's what the actual concept of the book is dealing with people's inner purgatory, if you will, where they're at, what they're dealing with. We're going to introduce some really cool folks. You got Father Dominic, who is our main character. He's a great dude. He's kind of young to be a father. So he's trying his best to be noticed, and he's trying to show how pious he can be. But there are moments where he may or may not slip a little bit in what he's got going on. And he is only human, and we are infallible. So it's going to be a ton of fun to see what he goes through. And then you've got Tim, and Tim is one of our other main characters, and he's actually possessed himself.
Correct.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how he and Dominic deal with their relationship, as Dominic is basically his keeper. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what they go through and how they deal with each other, and they work back and forth together. The art is absolutely beautiful. I mean, we showed you guys some pages last week, but the artwork is absolutely stunning, and it's done by the Zaldivar brothers, who just did what did they just do? Did they do Purgatory?
They just did Purgatory. Yeah, on
Yeah,
Dynamite side.
yeah. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. I mean, like truly gorgeous stuff. I'm going to show you guys a really cool page that you haven't seen yet. I've not shown you this page. It's not colored yet, but it is a gorgeous page. An absolutely gorgeous page. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it when I saw it. I cannot wait to see Headwind's colors on it because it's going to be absolutely stunning.
Nice.
Like, it's just their artwork is beyond reproach. You know, I'm a huge.
I love the eye inset, the close up of the eye.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, so good. But they're currently working on the book right now. And we've gotten some beautiful covers that we've brought out. Man, everybody has gone ham. You know, Vic Moya went ham on it. I'm a huge fan of what he did. You know, of course, we've got Steph and Carrie. You know, they had a good time with their cover.
They always do.
Oh my gosh. And Hibrin. Like, so one cool thing, a lot of people are big fans of Hibrin's artwork. We wanted to give you guys, it wasn't even just us, it was him himself came out and did like 13 different versions of that.
Holy crap.
He wanted to make sure it was on point.
We did not use all 13 of them, mind you. But it was so wild to see every different variation. I mean, he's an incredibly talented individual. And like there were topless with, you know, the bottoms, you know, no skirt, no top, just bra and panties. Then there was
any condemnation there you can think of.
So cool. But you know, like I said, they've brought together some incredible pages. This is probably one of my favorite pages ever. Like absolutely ever. And I've been reading comic books since I was knee high. And when I wrote the vomit, when Dominic was vomiting, I had no idea how powerful the imagery was going to be when we received it. You know, I was just like, holy shit, that's so good. It's just so much fun. Like, I have never in my life thought that I was going to get a piece of art from a team member of ours and just be like, holy shit. Now, Bladen does it to me a lot. Like, it does it to me a lot. But I've come to almost expect the unexpected when it comes to our art director. He's normally going to make something happen no matter what, you know, we've got going on. But, you know, these pieces that we've gotten for this book, and look at, I mean, Alfred, I haven't seen Alfred do a cover in a while, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, hey, look, I've got this wild concept. Do you think he can do it? And April was like, he's going to knock it out of the park. And it just came out so cool, you know, because we all grew up with the whole hot for teacher thing, right? Like that was, I never had any hot teachers. I don't know what the fuck happened in my world.
I didn't either. Mine were all like, you know, in their 60s.
Yeah, dude, I didn't get the hot teachers.
No, I didn't either. Or I had the old dude that was the biology and chemistry teacher.
No, yes. Mine was the history teacher.
So, we never got the hot teachers, but there's so many cool different ways, you know, that we've been able to show these really, really cool pieces, you know. Not only do we have, you know, we've also got this one of the staples of the brand, you know. Leonida's been with us for a really long time now. And she came out just smoking with this cover. Like I was not ready for how great that one would be either. Like I was like, holy shit, you know. But we've all had so much fun with this particular book.
Len and I pretty much will always knock your socks off.
I'm telling you, like I look at the creative, you know, like talents that everybody comes with, and I always get excited. because I always want to know if they're going to push their own boundaries. Or are you going to try to do something outside your skill set or do something new? What are you going to do to make it pop? And I'm going to tell you, with all the different covers that are out, I don't know. I think we only did 8 for this one, to be honest. I think we only did 8, but it was like looking at them, there's just so many different amazing skill sets. So many like just awesome skill sets. And I tell you what's really good. April's cover is on there, and it's dumb. Yeah, Nate picked that one up because we all knew that one wasn't going to last very long. You know what I mean? As somebody was going to snag it, but we're really
I'm very happy for Nate.
Yes, we're very happy Nate got to scoop that one up. But the artwork, when you get to look at the digital colors and stuff that she's added, is absolutely insane. Like, it's just a gorgeous cover. And I think that, the more we see from this particular issue, the more that people are just going to be like, holy crap. You know what I mean? It's just going to it's just going to be something, all the team has put everything they have into it. And you can tell, like I told April, I was like, dude, you broke your mold with that cover. Like that's like some serious banging shit, man, I don't often send my own copies in to get graded, but I may have to get a couple of these graded because they are just absolutely monstrous. Like the whole deal with the bats and the light coming down on the two characters, the fabric on the sheets, man, I don't know. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's my favorite, I think, that she's ever done. It's definitely probably my favorite. But Bladen got in there with a good one. Super fun one as well. There's just been a ton of really amazing artwork brought into this, and I could not be more excited about it. I'm absolutely thrilled by what everyone's done, and this one's still stupid to me. It's so good. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh. But we went in and talked about that particular one, and Russ handles all my media stuff outside of Heather and marketing. Outside of marketing, he handles the other stuff. And he was like, dude, we're going to do like a gold cover of that. And I was like, what? I didn't even know what that was. So it was really, really cool. It's awesome to work with people that push the boundaries. I learned something
in a good way.
Absolutely. Yeah. I literally learn something new every day. And I think this story is going to be one that people can definitely get in on and, again, grow with. Like that's what we try to do with the brand. We try to give you guys products that you can grow with and grow with the characters and feel the characters and feel for them, what they're going through or situations and stuff like that. I'm very proud of everything that we've accomplished with this book so far. And I'm already jumping into issue 2. So if that says anything at all, we're already ready to pound out issue 2. We just got to get through this one and then we'll jump on the next one.
I'm so ready for issue 2. Man, after I read that script, I was messaging us. I'm like, dude, come on. I need
more.
Yeah. And you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because at the same time, there's like 7 other books that I'm writing right now. And the cool thing though is like next year we've hired a plethora of incredible writers. So you guys are going to get to see all kinds of new stories, all kinds of new perspectives.
It's going to be a whole new world next year.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be absolutely insane. One reason for that is not only that I want to grow outside of my own space, is I want the characters to grow. I want you guys to be able to see different aspects of characters I may not have even thought of. So really pumped about that. And we're traveling next year a lot. So I wanted to make sure that we had plenty of writers that could write amazing stories for you guys while we were traveling. You know, I mean, we've already talked about the fact that there's an If It Hops spinoff coming out, and I'm so excited about that. You know, so but when it comes to Where They Dwell, I wanted to give you guys a very down to earth set of characters. You know, and then I got to writing it, and I was like, holy balls. But it's a ton of fun. It's so much fun, I think, because I have, April handles our red label. I have never written anything that was any kind of BDSM stuff. I'd never wrote that. I don't. There's not.
You're
Like
expanding all sorts of horizons: comedy,
oh my gosh,
BDSME.
I like I said, I learn every day. I'm constantly trying to improve myself. Every day, and that's not just for myself, that's for everybody involved, so I think this particular book is definitely going to be one that you get pretty frequently throughout the year. So but like I said, I love their artwork, and mind you, these are not even finished pages just yet, you know what I mean, but I can't wait to see what the two of them do with this book as it goes forward. I think it's absolutely stunning that they're pushing the envelope in such a way. They're just,
Ooh, we're funded.
Yeah, Did we really?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yep. I mean, it's not just my own little disappointment. I realized you took away the pick 3. So I was looking for it. I'm like, oh, it's
did we? Did he not put pick 3 in there?
He didn't put it in this one. So
I'll add it. Yeah, I told you I was working on it like
well, like I said, I was looking because I know Nate turned me on to him. I'm like, oh, drat. Okay, well, I'll make it work.
Yeah, let me get on there. I'll add it
I didn't mean to derail anything, but
no, you guys go ahead. Nate, you take the reins. I'm going to add this pick. I didn't realize it wasn't on there.
Oh yeah. So I mean, going through the story, and the whole avenue of this, he kind of lost his way. And that's kind of the thing, is that he lost his way. He's trying to figure it out how, and it's kind of ironic, when you think about it. It's no different than somebody's lost their way from God. So he's trying to find out, like, how do I get back to square one? And he said, well, maybe if I start doing what I'm supposed to do as a priest, maybe it'll go that way. And then he bites off more than he can chew, literally, because there's so much that he has to go deal with now. He's like, oh, crap. Right. And so I guess, we were talking like, this is going to be a scenario where it's going to be different. I'm going to say indulgences, but different types of scenarios, with the demonology side. So, I mean, you could see pieces and parts of like where greed could come into play, with some of this, just for that reason. Because you can see, like, okay, if you're talking demonology, we could talk about Lilith. Lilith could make an appearance at one point or not.
Well, this is the same world. So you could definitely come across those characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to play connected dots, for a while with this one, but there's little pieces and little things there that you could see. Okay, then maybe if it's the listener and greed and Where They Dwell and frog legs and everything combined, then maybe we'll see the listener at one point, the new listener, not the old one, the new listener, playing nicely with this priest. That could. So I was thinking, oh, that'd be a fun little scenario to see how that would happen. Now that's definitely some writing in the works. That would take some time because you have to.
I will tell you this, that all those things have already been talked about.
That's good.
I will say that while I'm sitting here editing in this, because I'm a huge fan of the listener. You guys know that story has my heart all day, every day, and it's been one of those things where with the listener, like, there are stories that you'll find if you pick up the listener trade paperback with Guy's journal in it, there are stories from Frog Legs and connections to Frog Legs that are already in it. So then if you look even further, you may see things from There Be Shadows, not There Be Shadows, Where They Dwell, that I had already written years ago that we're using to tie together these stories. So you definitely see, like, again, this world exists in the same world of Frog Legs, same world as Greed, same world as the Listener. And
it's a host of possibilities.
absolutely, so many great characters to work with, so many different situations, you know. And I think though that adding them together at certain times is definitely feasible. And I would love to do it. You know what I mean?
Because
But I
like in
think
Greed, it makes sense where they're at now with the tree. It makes sense that the Listener and
absolutely.
everybody else is playing. I was going to ask the question too. Is like we see a lot of demonology, but about the angels?
So Where They Dwell is going to touch on a lot of things. And it's also going to touch on like Dominic's faith, like you were just talking about a second ago. It's going to touch on Dominic's faith. It's going to touch on, like how he wants to deal with the things that he's learning. Like how is he going to deal with the fact that he finds this out or this out, and it may have him question his own faith or his own understanding. I think that that's very powerful storytelling. When you start getting into, as usual with ethereal, we play in the gray. I'm not a big fan of black and white. I'm a big fan of camo. I'm not a fan of gray.
And nuances.
All those nuances.
That's right. But as we say it all the time, we whole ass everything we do. So if there's a possibility that he comes across the higher power just as he's come across the lower power, we'll definitely touch on it. I think one of my favorite stories ever was about Constantine and the City of Angels. It was one of my absolute favorite stories ever. And the saddest thing was it was a cartoon, so a lot of people didn't even watch it. But it was so good. Like storytelling across comics is phenomenal. And everybody does these amazing things. Everybody. I don't give a fuck if it's the little guy down the street that's in his basement and he's doodling. Everybody does something that's very, very cool to me, and because everybody thinks on a wavelength that's their own. My storytelling is my type of storytelling. There are other writers in ethereal that write entirely differently than I write, but you'll always get the ethereal spice because of the simple fact that I edit everything that goes out. There's not a book that I'm not editing. So that being said, I always want like Dan Wickline, right? Dan Wickline's got his book coming out, and we'll be talking so much more about it come December, January. I'm actually just waiting for the artist's schedule. That's all I'm waiting for that book. So when Dan gets his stuff going, you'll notice that it's an entirely different type of book, but it's beautiful and the storytelling is awesome. But when it comes to angels, man, look, so many people have done them. So many people have done angels. It's like vampires and monsters and demons and werewolves and every fucking thing else. Okay, so many people have done them. In the years that I've written for different companies and other things, I have never written an angel story. I've never written any seraphim. So right now, with this particular book, it opens a world for me to touch on things that I have not even begun to reach into. So yeah, I can tell you with I can tell you that you certainly will probably see angels in this book. I can also tell you that they probably won't be what you're expecting.
That's good.
I would imagine not. Yeah, I would be.
They will probably.
They won't be the traditional, what people think of traditional, because you're going to add an ethereal twist to them and make them fit within.
I think McFarlane went the route that I would have gone originally. You would have got these battle angels and these just gorgeous, like sensual beings. You know what I mean? And but again, because it was done, you won't catch me doing it. So My concept is already there. I honestly already have one, and it's going to be super fun because you'll never even know. Not for a good while. But we've also got another character that we're introducing. Everybody's like, well, are you going to have nuns? You know, it's ethereal, so you're going to have chicks in the book somewhere. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So, yes, we are going to have nuns. But, again, nuns have been done and done and done and done. You know what I mean? They've all been done. And let's face it, when we were kids, we all read them. We all read them.
Mm-hmm.
And we loved them. Oh, I love the shit out of them. I'm not going to say the names because I think that there are a lot of clones of those old books out right now.
Probably. Yeah.
So, but they were great, and they helped build what the comic community is. So again, I definitely can't go into it with a nun like a nun that you are very aware of and has seen before. So my nun will be batshit crazy. So you guys will enjoy it so much. Not that the character itself is batshit crazy.
Oh,
but the
so no,
concept-
not Flavors of Serenity, but something else.
No. Serenity is, again, you know what's funny? When you write so many characters, you have to be very careful that you're not stepping on your own toes. That you're not going back and going over the books and going, yes, you just read Serenity with a different name.
Yeah.
You have to be careful. Like, there are things that I'll forget about my characters, like eye color, or you know what I mean, or like little details or nuances, if you will, of characters. I won't remember them because we write so many characters. But I'm never going to come up with a character that is the same as another one. You know, you have to fight that as a creator, as a writer. You know, I watched Stephen King talk about that one evening. Just the fact that it's so easy to fall into a trope, if you will. And I refuse. I flat out fucking refuse. So if what I do is I not only edit, but I'll go in and I'll look at my characters and my character designs to see if there's anything like it in any of the 15 other IPs that we have. You know what I mean? Is there anything else there? And when somebody comes in to write a new thing, you know, like we'll use Dan because his book is coming up closest than anybody else's. None of his characters are like any of the other ethereal girls. You're not going to come across that. Now, Ricky is different. Ricky was difficult when we created the character. He was very difficult because you didn't want to fall into a stereotype with him. You know, and yes, he does have certain styles and certain points of his psyche that push him toward this direction or this direction. But we won't have anybody else with that type of protective characteristic, you know, that I have to protect these characters. That's part of him uniquely. That's who he is as a character. You know, like Father Dominic, yes, he's a pastor, so he's going to want to protect everybody that he's around. You know, that's just him as a person. Not to be confused with a character that is written in a way that he'll protect a couple people. Like that's his people. He's going to protect those couple people. But it's interesting. I think that you bring up a really cool point. I could talk about the Seraphim on and on. Like I really could, Nate. And I think that you're right on it. I think that you've got an idea of the direction that I want to go play in. But I think that's a story that's way out. You know what I mean? It is nowhere soon will you see anywhere in these books. But again, it's been had. The conversation has already been, you know what I mean? And there was a reason we wrote the book in the world, you know, in the same world as these other stories. So you would be able to go, holy shit, that was Cade in that book. Like, and there's going to be other readers that don't read Greed, and they'll be like, "I don't know what that was," but you'll know exactly who that character was, and I won't even have to tell you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's.
But even the new readers who may not know, and they may go, "What?" Still, there's enough there; they won't miss it. because even if they do miss it, they're still involved in it. So yeah.
Absolutely.
But the best part is that's a selling point at that point. Okay, there's this character. You don't know about it. Hey, you might want to go pick up this trade paperback during the next Kickstarter to know the
And people
more.
go, oh, hey. Yep.
We'll just lead you this way.
Gently. Come over here. Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
Don't go to the light, Carol Ann.
Go to the light. Go to the light.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it is kind of funny too, because I was looking at, like some of the stories and the way they've been going lately, it's like you can see like the little hints and pieces there. But like for me, I'm a huge Dawn fan. I love the story writing. John Michael Lisner does. I've been a fan of his since it first came out, Cry for Dawn.
Hey, so if he ever happens to watch one of our shows, because he added me on Facebook like 2 years ago, if he ever anybody gets to talk to Lisner, I would love to have him on a cover. Just putting that shit out there, and I have never said that live about anybody. But I would love to have him on a cover, especially for this goddamn book. Sorry to cut you off. I'm going to let you have that mic back, but that's just, it needed to be said.
Hey, I mean, and that's the thing is like these are some of the old writers. Like you look at Garth Ennis, who did Preacher.
Oh my God.
Like those kind of stories were outside of the scope of the normal. They're not your big two. They're not your mainstream books. And the reason why is because it wasn't meant for mainstream readers. It was made for people conceptually thinking outside of the box. Like, what does this happen? Like, come on. I mean, you had a preacher with a vampire, and his girlfriend from way back when, and they're trying to find God. And they essentially find God on a shitter and he dies. So it's like
there's wild shit out there, bro.
And I've seen some of the other stories, but a lot of them don't captivate you that way either. Like you can see the things that have been done, like Nuns, for example, like the Conjuring version of the Nun and Malik. Is like it's a destructive being. It's a demon that's taken over everything. You can tell the nuns that are there, they know everything about it, and they're trying to protect the shit out of the world for it. But guess what? Day comes to end, it doesn't matter. That demon's going to do what they want to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's one of the interesting things to talk about with the book itself is if you look at, like I said, if you look at Tim, right? Tim is the opposite of everything that dominated him. He's the absolute opposite. I mean, you got to think he's a young dude that has been locked away for about 100 years, so now he's going to be on a leash when he's been stuck in a hole for 100 years. And the only person he's had to talk to is a demon for 100 years.
That's going to mess with you.
Something, to your psyche, and we haven't gone over. Tim should be a mystery for at least the first 5 issues. Things about him should be a complete mystery as we build that character.
You should wonder about his motivations, about his actions, about his everything. So
who's
it's like
making the decisions?
Mm-hmm.
Him or the demon
who's driving? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who's running the show? I almost did something that was a lot of fun.
Inmates.
Yeah, no shit. I almost did something really fun with it, and then I remembered that, man, I wish I could think who wrote that book. Oh, well, he didn't write it, so I wish I could remember who wrote it. But it's had to have been 18 years ago, 17, 18 years ago. There was a series called Venom Carnage, and Toxin was introduced in that series. And the interesting thing about Toxin is his host was a police officer, and he tried to do good things and tried to model himself off of Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what he would do, though, is the symbiote would run the show when he was asleep.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really cool idea. And then I was like, fuck, somebody already did it. I had totally forgotten. And then I was like, oh, God damn it. I can't do that.
Can't do that one.
So I started working with almost a sense of hypnotism. You guys will see some cool stuff like that. A lot of people think it's bullshit. I couldn't tell you whether it is or it's not. You know what I mean? I like to believe in the fantastical. I don't like it to be disproven. So it is what it is. I'm not like a child and doesn't understand reality. I prefer mysticism in my life versus, thinking that everything is the ass particle said okay to the shit particle, and that's just what happened. You know what I mean? And so in storytelling, I like to give you all amazing things to think about. You know, so if this character has dealt with this, or why they're doing this, or what their motivations are, or even what compromises the character, and that's a funny one. Like, it's a cool thing to work with, like, what are they actually composed of? Like, their actual essence. What kind of character are they? Are we going to get a villain? Are we going to get a hero? What kind of character do we have? And a lot of people are like, well, you again play in that gray area. I totally do. I love the gray area because I don't think that situations are as black and white as we make them.
And besides, when you give us what we think will be, what somebody will say, oh, you've given us a villain. Really? Did we really give you a villain? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
And the same, the reverse is true as well. Because
we do. We talk that shit about Corvos all the time.
Yep.
Is he a bad guy? I mean, it's debatable on your situation, your viewpoint.
Correct. I mean, if you think about why is he doing the way he's doing it? Is he being coerced to do it? Is he being manipulated?
Right.
I mean, it's no different than in a terrorism act, where a kid or whatnot gets used for a terrorism act, but that's because of what's being done to their family. It's like, you don't know. They might be a good person. Like Serenity is still going to be batshit crazy regardless of what happens.
For sure.
But who's to say that she didn't have a good personality when she first started?
Absolutely.
Well,
do you know if that character is going to be one that is, out to progress themselves or just burn the world down? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things like that out there. There's a lot of things to look at when you're looking at these characters. Like, are they truly, man, and I hate to say it, but don't ever look at a ethereal character at face value. Please don't. Because it's never going to go the way you think. I promise. It really isn't.
Well, you can, but then just be prepared to be very surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be different. Oh my gosh. When I told everyone that C was a lesbian, I think the whole world flipped upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I really do. I think the whole world flipped upside down. I probably got 40, 50 emails.
What?
What did you do?
So funny. Yeah. What did you do? Well, I had a good time, and then I decided this is what was going to happen.
There you go.
To me, it felt very natural. It felt very natural to me because rabbits, if you look at them, are very, for the most part, not hares, but rabbits, are fairly timid animals, and they also appreciate the company of other rabbits. You know what I mean? It's just something that they, if you've ever had a hutch or kept rabbits, they really like each other. That's why there's a bajillion babies everywhere.
Exactly.
They like each other, and it doesn't matter who it is. They like everybody. But I felt like she needed to have a character that she could grow with emotionally, because you're going to start seeing developments and see as you go forward, that she is not the strongest individual. She's not. Like, if you've read issue 2 yet, like most people have read the digitals, the physicals are so many physicals went out today. But that character is growing and trying to be a braver character. Like, she is absolutely horrified of a lot of the situations she's in, but I feel like as she grows, you'll get to grow with her, and you'll get to see, her backbone, if you will, start taking place and growing. And I feel like that about Dominic, very much about like that. I feel like if you look at these pages, he is a very nervous individual. Like, he is not prepared. Like, what you don't know which, and I'll give it to you, it's not a bad thing. I'm not giving away too much story. This is the first page of the book, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why is he terrified already? You know what I mean? There's so much in this page, that just blows my mind. But why is he terrified? There's got to be a reason. What is going on? And it's funny. I love talking to Shawnee. I love talking to Nate. And I love talking to my buddy Thomas, whose birthday it is.
We got to sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I don't know about
happy birthday, Mr. Peanut.
But I love the shit out of Thomas Anders. He is an amazing human being. And I say this, there are days in the past couple years where I have been in the absolute dumps. And that man has reached out to me and made me feel like a human being. And
he's a true friend. He's a good man.
Oh my gosh. Like has always been there, like almost since day one of the brand coming out, has been there and pushed the brand and has pushed me as a person. And I'm very, very grateful. So happy birthday, buddy. I know you went to bed already, but I hope you really have a great time with your lady tomorrow. And I'm sure we'll talk shortly. But again, happy birthday, my friend.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
What a beautiful fucking human. Like he is.
He really is. Yeah.
But anyway.
Stocky sense of humor and all.
Oh my gosh. Just amazing person altogether, an amazing human. But no, so I really want to express with this character how much growth that he's going to have to go through. What he's going to have to endure with everything going on. What's going on, Damaris? How's it going?
Hey.
So we're going to see a lot of, like I said, his growth. And I think that him trying to stand up to this demon in this first issue is a step toward where he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say he's successful. Said demon. But
he gave it the good college try.
He definitely he gives it his best.
It's a growing moment.
I want to show you guys this cover. And I know that two of you have seen it. And Nate, you own the original. Correct. But I just really want to show you guys this cover because it's so gorgeous. Like, it's so gorgeous. Like, I am lost for words.
It is. And I think Nate obviously agrees because he grabbed it. But being able to watch April actually create this and seeing it come to life online a little bit and be able to watch it was really awesome. I mean, it was just fun to watch her creativity come through and to watch her just make this beautiful piece. So
for sure,
I'm so happy I got to be a part of that, at least in that way, to be able to watch her create it. So
absolutely. So people have asked before also about our blanks. We talked about our blank sketches last week a little bit, but when you get a blank sketch from Ethereal, you get some.
Well, again, no half-assing. It's all whole assing.
Yeah. We all whole ass. Mm-hmm. Like you get some real banging stuff from Ethereal. Mm-hmm. So if you're on the edge about getting about deciding that you may or may not get an original piece from us, I really want you to take a second and get a peek at some of these pieces. These are the only ones I have saved, but they're just absolutely stunning. I mean, we have such a good time creating them.
Bladen went a little nuts in a good way, but he put a whole lot into those. Yep.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yep.
Damaris asked if one of us is the comic book artist.
No, we have 67 artists currently with Ethereal right now. I am a writer, creator, publisher, producer, editor, mini hat guy. But we have amazing team members. So, no, definitely
I am a consumer and fan and hanger-oner.
You are a fan. And Nate is one of top 3 head friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Nate's
I
also
like
your proofreader, and gets your story, and
So are
yep. So
you.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
get my fucking scripts damn near before anybody does.
yep.
He does. Yeah, I get a few. I get the art. I'm lucky enough to
I
get
get
Yeah,
the
a
she
lot of the
she
art.
typically
So.
gets the art. I usually get the scripts 1st
Mhm.
and so
Yeah.
You
and
guys get.
I'll do the review and I'll say this is what I think, and you'll tell me I've already thought about that. Next,
I've
Sorry,
thought about.
Demars. Probably more than you ever wanted to know.
I think about a lot lately, and a lot lately is funny because all the books, like I don't write with an ending in mind. Like I don't ever have an end. Like I suck at short stories. Like I am the worst short story guy, like ever. And I think that if we, oh my gosh, like I said, that was one reason the Halloween books that are about to come out were so hard for me, because I don't ever want the stories to end. You know what I mean? Like I have no, like My Metal Girl, Cretaceous. Cretaceous was supposed to be a short mini series. It was supposed to be like 6 issues, and all of a sudden it blew up. Like it blew the fuck up. And I was like, well, if you can write about a pandemic, I can write about a really wild fucking pandemic. So
zombie dinosaurs.
zombie dinosaurs, and that'll be a ton of fun as well. But a lot of things about ethereal, and like we like to do. Thank you, Shawnee. We like to do layers in our storytelling. We really like to make it so there's so much going on, but it reads smoothly, right? It's like a really good fucking piece of cheesecake. There's layers in the cheesecake.
You're speaking my language. I love it.
Right.
I had cheesecake yesterday.
There you go.
I'm jealous.
Speaking of food, right? Speaking of food, frog legs is just about finished. So that'll be coming to us. Good Lord.
Now we're not speaking just of food, but Cajun food.
Redneck food.
We were talking about crawfish the other night, and I've been eating crawfish since I was like 8 years old, right? And everybody makes fun of me because I won't suck the head of the crawfish.
That's where all the flavor is.
No, absolutely
Come
not.
on.
I'm not giving a mud bug head. I got news for you. So I love eating, crawfish. I can't do the
Actual frog legs can be an acquired taste.
I like frog legs.
Frog legs are okay. They taste.
But I think you like the comic frog legs. That's a whole different thing. So.
Yeah. Comic frog legs is super fun. I actually just got past page like 7 on issue 2 the other night. Very, very happy with that. But it's also a book that I think people are assuming is like massively action packed and stuff like that. But again, I will tell you guys honestly, it is the first love story I've ever written. So be mindful of that when you like. There's plenty of voodoo and there's plenty of crazy shit going on. There's plenty of naked chicks in it. But
once again, we're talking outside of the norm because then we have comedy, and then we have BDSM, and now we have a love story. Look at Dustin, just branched out all over the place.
Stuff, man. I cannot afford, as a creator, a publisher, a team leader, a father, a friend, to not give you guys things that are interesting from all different aspects. It's just it. Who wants to be fucking boring? Okay,
That's
like
right.
I love Spider-Man, right? Like I love Spider-Man.
There's enough boring in the world as it is. So.
Yes, but my love of Spider-Man comic books ended probably 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Brand new day killed Spider-Man.
So awful. We don't even talk
J.T.
about it.
Malloy actually did a great post on that. He was talking about it, and I was like, yes, what he said. So he talked about how just the changes, and he's like, I'm over it.
There's certain shit you just don't fuck with, right?
Yes.
Like there's just certain shit you just don't fuck with. And we're constantly doing it just to get fucking attention anymore, and I'm over it. So anyway,
we digress.
I do that. I'll run down that rabbit hole. Speaking of rabbit hole, we're not talking about food right now. No. So BGD 4 art is officially done. So very excited about that. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
particular book is going to be here much faster than I think you guys recognize. So a lot of you know, and have been here for a while, you know that we switched printers, and it set us back months and months and months.
Mm.
We switched printers because I refuse to print outside of the United States. If you guys ever wonder how you get your books so fast once I have them, it's because we print in the United States. And I spare no expense with the quality of book that you get. So, anyway, that being said, you have to remember that all these books already had timelines. So BGD 4 already had a print timeline. So that book is going to be here before we know it. Underland has started arriving. We started mailing out Underland today. Very stoked about it. Absolutely love that book too. Super, super fun. Issue 2 is actually going to lettering in like a week.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, so tons of stuff is done right now. And we just heard back from Devin this evening. Supposedly, Theater 7 is going to be done in like a week. Like done in like a week. So I'm pretty stoked about that because you guys know I love that.
Penny.
Penny is the bee's fucking knees, dude.
Exactly.
Like and it's funny because again, that stepped out of a comfort zone. I was terrified to write a comedy. Like I was terrified. But if you've got to have a comedy done, you may as well get the king of fucking that type of book to do it.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, and if you don't know who Devin is, I mean, just think all you think of is Bud Root and Cave Woman, and then
That's
go pick up his most because, and I think Devin's still doing it. Like
yes,
literally, I'm still picking up books from Amazon.
absolutely.
Yeah,
He does Cave Woman almost every other month.
Yeah.
So you definitely he kills that book. That book is amazing. It's still to this day. I got sucked in because Bud's artwork is absolutely fucking beautiful. And he's such a stand-up guy, like a stand-up guy. I love that's one thing I love about this industry. I love being able to come on our show and talk positively about the amazing people that are actually in it, that we've associated with, been around. It's just such a cool experience to me because like every day I get to meet or talk to somebody really, really cool. Yourselves included. I love talking to you guys. You guys are absolutely beautiful fucking people. But so right now, where are we at? Where they dwell? Let's check.
We are at
1832. Oh, did it just go up again?
1995.
Okay.
Whoa, you see higher than I do.
Now
Yeah, it was
back,
that, and then it dropped down, and now
it
it's
just
going
dropped
back.
to 1715, and then goes back up.
And then it's popping back 1832. Yep.
Somebody's playing with
there's a little finagling going on from some people, so that's fine.
Then that is super okay.
Exactly.
Steve is a great guy. He orders from us all the time. So, you know what? Everybody's entitled to move up and down when you're making decisions. And remember, we just added the pick threes on there, so I'm sure that's going to change.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Happy.
Oh, I went all in on this one. I did all the covers.
Oh man!
Ooh, look at you.
I love it.
I mean, these have been pretty much this one. There Be Shadows were the ones I went all in on this year.
Oh man, There Be Shadows is so it's definitely something. You know what I mean? I cannot begin to explain what it's like to know that the level is there without showing it to you guys or without being able to physically hand it to you. Like, I know that people toot their own horns and I'm not that person. I'm not good at that. But when it comes to this book and There Be Shadows, I was very excited for both of them. And I love all our stories again, and I'm very excited about all of our books. But sometimes something really bites me. Like, it really bites me. And I'm like, holy fuck. You know what I mean? It's just like you're walking down the fucking street and the O face just happens and people wonder what happened and you're just like, I'm gonna get me a towel. You know what I mean? It's just
These did more than just bite you. They're like,
Man.
Gnawed on you.
like, dude, holy shit. It's just really cool when you know that it's something. You know, like I can't say it like that. I can look at a book and go, man, look, I know that's a banger. Like I can, like there are a couple Kickstarters every now and then when I go, whoa, look, that's really good. You know, that's going to be a thing. You know, you wonder if they're going to make it or not. Because in reality, if you guys pay attention, 80% of the cats that try to hop in this year are not going to be here next year. You know what I mean? It is the reality of it. And that's just like any other industry, you know, music, movies, film, whatever. You know what I mean? This is an unforgiving industry. And I think that when you do find a banger, pay attention to the banger because, you know, it could very well be something, you know, like when we worked on There Be Shadows, like every time Donnie does a new page, I fucking get a chubby. You know what I mean? It's just the greatest thing because he puts so much life into every page that he does. You know, you can tell a traditional cartoonist versus an artist any day of the week. You know, it's just what you're looking at. You know what I mean? And I always look at all the ethereal artists in awe. You know, but they make you look at them in different ways for different reasons. And Donnie comes out just swinging, and I knew what a lot of people don't know is Vic Moya was set to do the interiors for that book.
That's right. Yep.
When he got, you know, he had to take some time away from art for a little while. We still had to go forward. And I think Donnie got, you know, Vic's blessing about the book. Vic thinks the book looks beautiful. And I think
that's awesome. Good.
Absolutely right. You know, it's another thing about us is we support each other. We all support each other, you know, and I think, again, if you look at Bladen Hunter right now, he's got his own book coming out through Ethereal here very shortly.
Very exciting. Yes.
I can't wait for that one.
So pumped. Tentatively titled Barbalians.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
I think it's interesting too because, like you said, I love the way you approach things and trying to get. Speaking of how it is, like you said, we try to support each other and everything else because it can be pretty cutthroat and it's hard. So I think anytime you can find a group that offers that support and encouragement and everything else, and trying to, you know, it just makes everybody better. So
for sure.
Awesome.
Braided handrail.
He always
out there doing stuff. Jesus.
Well, that's what we get for having him on, you know, on a Friday evening. I think that's what it is.
Yes.
He has to be a little silly, a little.
Oh man. Well, welcome to the show, my partner in crime. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
I messed you up. I hit the wrong button.
You did nothing. Fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
No one's
Hey,
on.
you didn't cancel the show, so we're fine.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Twice.
Oh my god. Well,
Hi, Bladen.
Hello.
am very excited about this book series, guys. I'm very, very excited. I know that Bladen's excited about it, and the whole team has just been a flutter and or a Twitter, if you will, about this particular series. And I think that we're going to tap into things that may or may not be different for folks, you know, perspectively. You know, you mentioned Dawn earlier. We were talking about Spawn. Both very, very different types of book, you know, and I think this is going to be a very different type of book for most folks. Because the cool thing about what I can do with this, and not to mention the Zaldivars, they're just fucking monsters. So, but what I can create with this type of book is almost like never ending. You know what I mean? When you start working about when you start going into these realms, or where they dwell, if you will, and it's one of these things where it's different for every individual, so like, what happens if some kid gets stuck in a video game and he's scared shitless of a video game, and we've got, poor Dominic in there and he doesn't know what the fuck to do, and what happens if Tim loses his shit at some point and Dominic's got to take care of it. I mean, there's just so many aspects to this story that I find so interesting, just like I mentioned earlier about If It Hops and having another series in the world of If It Hops. It's there's so much going on with Ethereal that we can just build off these new things, like what have let me not give that away. So
HR's going to hear you.
Exactly.
She's gonna watch this.
She's got you, bugged.
Yeah. I can police myself most of the time. But if you look at BGD and what we did with BGD, we did the Stitches story, which is not done. There's still plenty of Stitches to go, but we did an entirely different story and a different atmosphere in the additional pages for BGD. I'm gonna let you know that the Where They Dwell pages are gonna be fucking bananas.
That's awesome.
Okay.
It'll be an entirely different short story for Where They Dwell. Same thing with If It Hops. We've given you story from different angles and different characters' perspectives. So you will definitely be getting something different than I think that you'd be expecting for those additional 6 pages.
Well, I think I like that. I mean, going back to what you said about how, where they dwell, but it's going to hit people differently. But I think that can be stated for a lot of your stories and books. And so I always find that interesting because I think each reader is going to maybe get something a little different out of it. So I always have fun listening to Nate's reviews and his opinions because he gets different things out of the stories than I do when I read them. And it's fun to see what his perception is and everything else versus, what I clued into or what I enjoyed. So
right.
It's fun. And having that opportunity for all the different titles that you put out, there's always something new you can get. So
I'm excited about something that we're about to do, and Nate doesn't even know yet. So we're very excited because I've been working on the website like a madman and learning different things about it and how to do different things on it and so on and so forth. But I'm going to add a section for Nate on the website so that he can go in and publish his reviews on the website.
Very cool.
So I'm pretty pumped about that because Nate's reviews are mad fun, and I would like to have them up so people can see them whenever they'd like to see them. I just need a cool name because Nate's Corner sounds lame as fuck. So I need to think of something cool.
We need to find a cool title.
That sounds like some shit like we'd watch as a kid with like Under the Umbrella Tree and shit.
It's all about the bad as Barney.
Rainbow or something.
Yeah. It's got to be something fun, Nate's Tavern or some fucking shit. It's got to be something cool.
Nate's Cave.
It can't be like Nate's Toy House because that just sounds like we're fucking trying to fuck people. So we don't need that either.
I already got the toy house here.
What do you?
Not that kind of toy.
So speaking of that,
well,
we'll go there.
Wait till you see what April does for one of my drawings. It's going to be bad. It's going to use all your characters in it. So.
Oh my gosh. So speaking of those type of toys, I had a team member offer that does a 3D printing offer to make a large red
thingy.
Yes.
We'll say thingy.
I'm not saying
thingy. It's not even here.
Vegetable and leave it at that.
I'm going to say phallus, and then we won't go any
There we
further.
go. That's a genteel way of bringing it up.
Yes. So he thinks that there are so many people that have asked to see one that maybe we should just build one and see where it goes. So apparently,
Kickstarter.
I told you recently that we were going into all kinds of other mediums.
Uh-huh.
People are not listening to me when I say these things.
Well, I just not sure. I was entirely sure we were going in that direction.
I've given you boobs.
Exactly. Although we do have the pillow inserts, so I'm actually not really that surprised.
Should not be that surprised.
No.
Now, it wasn't my idea. That should be that's probably not surprising either, but that one was not my idea. The big red schlong still makes me uncomfortable at times, so I have to be, very. Yeah. Be gentle with me, Bladen. Be gentle.
Make sure you have some help from the rear.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh!
The heavy load, you guys strong. Don't lift with your legs. Lift it again.
Hey, Bladen, what you drawing?
Yeah, what's got going on up there, fella?
Is it even in frame? Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, it's Ryoshi.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
She's so much fun, dude. Like,
yeah.
I love that the characters from the brand are easily discernible. Like if you were to put C next to Lola Bunny, you would know who C was, or C, even if you were to put C up next to like Judy Hopps, you would know it was C. You know what I mean? I love that. And I think that as the brand gets more well known and stuff, you're going to continue to see characters that are very recognizable.
All your characters are distinctive.
I love that. I believe so. And you know what's funny? A lot of that, and it's not funny, it's just honest. A lot of that comes from the fact that, again, Bladen can almost read my mind. My brain is like monkey jello for this.
Oh, Bladen, I'm sorry.
You are screwed.
Someone's got to do it,
right? Take one for the team.
Yep.
Tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
We love you, Dustin.
Hey, I'm so good. I know my place and I know what I bring to the table, and I'm always very grateful at the characters that are designed for the brand. You know what I mean? Like, just because I can tell you I want to see this, 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 and this doesn't mean that they don't have an input. You know what I mean? Bladen has input on every character that we produce. And it's really cool when we get to see like right now the Halloween book's coming up, right? You'll get to see 3 different artists doing all the same characters.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun.
It's going to be very interesting and very different. I just talked to Donnie about it the other night. It's going to be very, very cool. I think that, and Brian as well. Brian brings an entirely different type of artwork than almost anybody else on the team. There's so many different people that come out and they're like, oh, I want to be like so-and-so, or I want to draw like so-and-so, and it's very interesting when you find people that don't get stuck to a traditional mold when they come out. Because there are folks, like literally, you can ask Bladen, he'll tell you, there are folks that come out and they focus on a particular art style.
Mm-hmm.
J. Scott Campbell, we know that he sells. Let's try to learn how to draw just like J. Scott Campbell.
Well, the vast majority of people are, it's usually like a Jim Lee, like a bad Jim Lee. Like I've went through that too. And it's just, it's part of learning like basic anatomy, because most of the instructional material is from the classic like superhero character illustrators, like how to draw the Marvel way kind of stuff. And I mean, you're gonna emulate that if that's your reference and that's your base. So yeah,
absolutely. But it's like it's very interesting when you look at Brian, right? Oscaro. I still think he doesn't. I mean, it's not something he tried to do, but I think he's almost a dead ringer for Mignola. Like,
oh yeah,
like, almost a dead ringer. Like the other night, he was working on the Halloween book, and I literally had to tell him to add meat to characters, because
Yeah.
it's very much that Jack Skellington, like, it's interesting. It's very, very cool stuff. But as like, I let Bladen handle all the art, because at times I won't see something, or I'll have an opinion, and it'll be very different than the reality of the piece,
Well,
because
you can see things and you'll be like, something looks wrong. I don't know what it is, but it looks
Yeah.
wrong, and I'll put
Right.
that into words, or I'll try to translate. So
it's so cool to work with people of different skill sets.
Mhm.
Like, as the brand gets older, I consistently try to push us and grow, and as I think we all should, as we're getting older and what we do or whatever. At any job, you want to improve constantly, right? It doesn't matter what your job is, you want to do it better, or in my opinion, you should. What I mean? You should want to do it better. But I think that we are telling stories better every time we put out a new story. It's better than the last. And that's not to say that the story itself is better. It's the art's better, the designs are better, the layouts are better. It's just because we're growing and we're putting that much more of our new skill set to use. When it came to Where They Dwell, I was very much writing it like I was going to write a horror story, when I started writing it. And then I realized it wasn't. It's not. It's very much a supernatural caper, yes. And it definitely has its ethereal blend in there, for sure. But it's not about horror. It's literally, well,
Comes
I'm not
more
going to say
with condition and other things. So,
well, it's also about the human condition. When you start realizing what Dominic is going through as an individual, and the struggles that he's going through as a human, it's very interesting to me. Like, I grew up in a Catholic household, like super Catholic household. Like, my Nightcrawler got his goddamn tail cut off. Like, I wasn't allowed to trick or treat. Ninja Turtles were fucking blasphemous. Yes, ma'am. It was as Catholic gets. And I I learned as I grew what I wanted to believe in or what I wanted to feel. Like, I loved Dawn, but I'll tell you what, it made me so uncomfortable when I was younger. Like,
I bet it did.
So uncomfortable. And I think that's amazing. It's absolutely incredible, because it made me wonder. It made me wonder about other people's thoughts, other people's opinions, what else in the world was out there, And to this day, I love Dawn, but Dawn makes me uncomfortable as a motherfucker.
And you know what? I'm Catholic as well, so I know how that is. But at the same time, I also think that that's why there are stories like this.
Yes.
Is to push you, not really to challenge, like, say, your faith per se, but to make you think outside of the scope of it.
Absolutely. I talk to, I have always, like, I met Ryan probably 6 years ago, Kincaid, 6-7 years ago. And it was at MegaCon, and DeBolfo had introduced us, and he was one of the kindest people you'll ever meet.
I love Ryan. He's one of my favorite people.
But, I've always valued his opinions. And we were at, oh man, I don't remember what show we were at. We were in Florida, I think. We were at a show somewhere. And I asked him, because I was like, I know that, I know what their beliefs and stuff as well. And I was like, well, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about doing the nude artwork and stuff like that? This was well before we started getting into Babes Born Dinosaurs or anything like that. And I remember him going, I don't think any, greater power would be offended by you trying to feed your family.
Yep.
And that to me was all I needed to hear. And it's funny, sometimes that's all it takes is a word from somebody else that you respect their opinion or you admire their skill set or whatever the fuck it is. And to this day, that's probably one of the. There have been a couple things that people have said to me that have stuck out, like vividly stuck out since I started doing this, and that's definitely one of them. Yeah. But when you start looking at where they dwell, again, I want you to look past face value. I want you to look at this man. You don't have to look at him as a priest, a father. Look at him as a man and what he's going through in these situations that he's walking into. Because I promise, just like every other ethereal book, you have zero clue. Like, zero fucking clue. Because I'm going to be honest with you, like when it comes to like If It Hops, I've told you guys before, we were down to fucking start doing pages and I changed the story. Mm-hmm. Like we were literally about to start doing pages and I was like, we need to talk about this, because I've had an epiphany about this script. We need to talk about it, and that happens with me. Like I'll be like, holy shit. And people are like, well, lightning doesn't strike twice. And I'm like, fuck you. I need like 12 direct goddamn hits. So we'll sit and we'll go over scripts. And, Bladen mentioned to you guys the other night that this coming issue of If It Hops is going to change the game. Mm-hmm. And it is going to change the game in such a way that I don't even know that we were ready for it. Like as I wrote it, because I think I'm in issue 5 right now that I'm working on. But it was like we started putting together issue 3, and I was like, well, we're going somewhere. It's going a different route than anybody expects, which we knew, but it started evolving, into something very different. Like if you look at Ryoshi has almost a mystical element to the character. Mm-hmm. And it was something that we had talked about a little bit, but originally If It Hops was supposed to be as real as we could fucking make it.
For animal people, yes.
Right? Like it was supposed to be as, as man.
Like no powers, street level.
It was supposed to be like just very honest storytelling, and the more that I looked at like the mystical elements of it, the more I wanted to get into it, and so like Nate just mentioned, a little bit ago, he mentioned, the positive higher powers. Mm-hmm. The more I thought about where they dwell, the more I wanted to get into this, and this. That's just like the more that I wrote Frog Legs, the more I wanted to see the listener in Frog Legs. The more I wanted to see that come to pass. So I noticed Bladen snuck in another sea image in fucking Babes Born Dinosaurs the other night. And I was
the world they live in.
Yes, I didn't see it until I saw it colored. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know why I didn't see it or how I didn't see it, but I didn't see it until it was colored.
You've had quite a shit ton of stuff going on. So
yeah, look, the amount
is
of
that original art still available?
Yeah, it's one of the pages, so it's one of the bonus pages.
Nate's here.
I can show you something cool.
He's trying to hoard it all.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, that'd go good with the other page. The other thing I got.
Well, the one you got was kind of the inspiration, and then I was on the page. I was like, you know what? This is the world they live in. This is how it's going to be.
There we go.
How are you, Adam? Yeah, no, there's so much. That's so goddamn loaded, though. That whole deal with showing her on that fucking thing is so loaded.
What? What are you talking about?
Loaded. It's fucking loaded. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
that banner with C on it is so loaded because there's
Well, yeah,
so much.
the one that Nate got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so loaded. Anyway,
And I say this all the time, but I'm never going to not be in awe of Bladen's speed in
Oh,
putting.
yeah.
I mean, just in being able with showing through in his talent. It's
Oh,
just,
I'd already done the blue on this, so don't be thinking I'm fast or good or anything. Okay.
dude, I've seen you when you haven't done it though. So yeah,
That's true.
anyway, whatever.
I think that she is going to be another character that's going to be a standout character. I don't think that she has to be like accompanied by C to make her interesting. And I think that you guys will see that in this issue. Like she can stand on her own and be an interesting character. I've been trying to build her, if you notice, from book one. I've been trying to build the character. C was easy, right? C was easy to build. Like I knew what I wanted to see and I knew what the fan base would enjoy. But when it came to her, it was like, oh man, I've got to show some of her past because we've got to show that she's aged X amount of years in this time period. So she's, the youngest member in the story, but at the same time, she's also in her mid-20s now. You know what I mean? So we had to show so much. And again, when we started coming up with the whole thing for the rider, it was a very different type of thing than I had intended to be in that world. And I started realizing that I wanted her to be the other side of C's Kit Kat, right? Like, or their Twix. Like, I wanted her to be one of the bars, So as we started putting the character together, I wanted her to have this sweet but edgy type of attitude, and she could be just this really cute character, but turn around and like bite your fucking face off, like this really, really sweet thing. But when you push her past that limit, she doesn't know how to turn it off, and I just thought it would be so much fun. So when it came to the aspect of her being possessed, I just was like, man, Fox have always been, put together with like majestic stuff and mystical arts and stuff like that. So
it's a trickster deity type.
Yes.
Trickster. And I mean, in Japan, it's heavily worshipped and appreciated and honored.
Well, like samurai were like worshiped the shit out of Fox back in the day.
And yeah, it's its own spirit, its own thing. And like Native American, they had the coyote, and the fox were more like trickster type.
The black dog and all that stuff, for sure. We just wrote about the black dog in the listener. You guys will see that here shortly too.
Yeah, like I can see Ryoshi having her own series, expanding out of it after
she's gonna have her own maybe mini series, but I don't. Right now, with the spinoff book we've got coming out, I'm not trying to overwhelm people with that world. You know what I mean? I want you to I want it to be an enjoyable experience. And I don't want people to feel like we're ever, again, overwhelming you with it. I really want you to be able to enjoy it. But you've got the Athena's book coming out next year. So, I think, oh my God, I love her to pieces already. Like already. From her little fucking nose to her fucking curled up tail that's like got a piercing in it. I'm a fan. But I think that people are going to get to see so much, and get to enjoy all these different characters in their own light. We should never have characters that are outshining each other. And that's difficult. In my opinion, that may be the hardest part about this, because when you create a character like C, right? C is 1 in a million, so you go, how do I make a character that can stand on the stage with this character without being dwarfed by her? So we had to give Ryoshi something.
Her is also like Kay's also a piece that's kind of on her own. She could stand her own, and I mean, Ryoshi and Kay could have their own books as well. We can develop later, but yeah, they're great characters all on their own.
I love Kay. Like, I love the shit out of Kay. Like, from the moment we sat and you sent me the first page that she was in that desert, I was sold as fuck. To be fair, I was sold when I started writing the character, but that page did it for me, and it did it for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people talked about that particular environment that we had created, you know, and this
a lot of it. Yeah.
I agree. The vehicles, you know what I mean? The very warlike aspects of the Fox, you know, it was just a lot of fun. And the cool thing is, like, just like BGD, there's so much that we haven't shown you. I mean, you're just now getting issue 2. You know what I mean? There's so much that we haven't shown you. Like, BGD has quarters in it. There's 4 quarters in that city, and we've only shown you a portion of 1. You know? Then you look at If It Hops, and you know, we've shown you all kinds of different animal, like humanoid animals or anthro characters, but we haven't shown you any fish people or any water type of characters yet. You know what I mean? We haven't shown you any flying type of characters yet. There's all kinds of stuff that we're branching out into and working on. But again, it's just like Spider-Man was, or just like Superman back in the day. You have to start at point A to get where you want to go. And when it comes to these characters, I think that Bladen, myself, April, David, I think we all owe it to the characters to give them their time to get where we want them to go. I don't think that we need to rush them to get them places, you know. Who did we see the other day? We get fan art all over the place, right? And I think fan art is super fun. It is super fun. Somebody did like an Eve. We got an Eve sent in the other day.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
That was super fun. Technically, it wasn't sent in. Technically, I got tagged. Is how it went.
That's a modern era like fan art submission.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, so I got tagged, and I thought that was cool. And it's as we continue to grow, we're just going to see more and more of that. We're going to see more and more of now. Let's be real. It's fan art. We're not trying to get. We don't need anybody out there trying to, you know, ape IPs or anything. You know,
right.
The cool thing is, you know, just give people credit for what you're working on, and we'll support you. Don't think we won't come on your page and be like, that's dope or something. You know what I mean? We'll definitely come out there and, you know, give you props for the work you do. But as long as it's always recognized that it's an ethereal owned character or something like that, we're super cool with things. Now, when it comes to our team, you should see prints and stuff should actually be a format. We have a format for prints and art from our team members. So, which is really beautiful anyway. The format's really, really pretty. It's clean. It shows the logos and stuff. It talks about who's involved in the books and all that jazz. So really, really neat stuff. But man, what a character. She's so much fun. She really is. Like there are characters, like we have a character in fucking Kill Cam. Kill Cam is a lot of fun, and Bladen has actually done with all the artwork for Kill Cam. Now we're getting it colored. Lord knows. So David Acampo is actually going to color.
I'm so excited he can't speak the words of come.
Yeah. So David is going to color Kill Cam, and I'm super happy with that. I'm not going to fucking talk about that at least. But he works very well with Bladen anyway. You know, they work.
Those, I don't think you can show them, or maybe you could, but maybe we could just entice people. The bonus pages for Baseball Dinosaur. What
I can.
The ones we just did. No, I don't know if you should show everything. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, well, I'm showing the bonus.
You've shown that one, yeah.
I just put this out in the update for the book. So
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'm super thrilled with those and how they turned out.
Yeah, they came out really, really pretty. You know, but again, it's going to be really cool when you guys start seeing the other artists get their hands on Where They Dwell, get their hands on If It Hops, get their hands on whatever.
It's always
I
fun to
think-
see somebody else's interpretation of
Oh,
you know, how to do them. It's fun.
Mhm.
Well, I've gotten to this point where years ago, Meredith was like, she was a really great friend of mine. But she was like, and same thing with, Nita. Both of them had told me that I was going to have to be a writer, creator, or I was going to have to run my own company.
Doing one option, not all three,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, you're being pulled in a lot of different directions, so
For sure.
Definitely
So
not easy.
I think that right now we're getting to the point where we're going to cement all these characters in these books. Then you'll start seeing like other companies have always done. They bring on other people to write stints for books. Like I know Dan wants to write If It Hops. I know there's a couple people. Yeah, he's talked about it. There are a couple people that have, and if It Hops is the first one that people ask about. You know what I mean?
Right.
well, it's a banger. So
For sure. But there are certain books that I probably won't remove myself from. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah.
you could alternate and stuff as well. So
Absolutely.
It's not like it's over. You're never
No,
gonna
not
again.
the least. Just because you start doing all the menial tasks of the normal stuff doesn't mean you have to quit creating. Absolutely. No, all I'm saying
I don't
is
think you could, even if that's what happened.
No,
with
that
that.
creative
I don't have
control.
it in me to.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
have
have it in you.
quit.
You
But there are books
something would break.
Well, I think BGD and If It Hops would be the two that I keep
Yeah.
specifically for myself. But there's a spinoff for If It Hops. There's probably going to be a spinoff for BGD at some point. You've already got not Where They Dwell, but These Neon Streets coming out. Which is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're just waiting on a couple more. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm excited about the book itself. I'm not excited about what we're going to have to charge for it.
Okay.
It's going to be big. So
Yeah, it's a very large book.
I don't think people are too. I think people understand that if it's a bigger book, it's more physical content. It's more.
But you have to convince me of that, though. You know what I mean? You have to convince me.
I get you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not used to that, and I've never been one to push that limit.
Right.
Justin's going to be more upset than some of the fans are.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Justin wants to deliver, and that's kind of always been his thing from the beginning. Is like, I want to deliver as much or more than my fans expect, and then follow through with that. So
if you know what you guys don't think about as well, and maybe some folks do, but most don't. When I add those additional pages, that's like $1,000. It's not like I'm just going, hey, here's additional free pages. That's our time. That's people's work that they're putting into it.
Production and the creation.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
then
it's a third. It's literally a quarter of the original book that you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're adding a whole nother quarter to it. Which is phenomenal in my opinion. To be able to do that. But when it comes to,
awfully darn sweet of you.
I know, I'm
Aww.
but when it comes to These Neon Streets, it's going to be well over 160 pages. You know what I mean? It's going to be big old chunky boy. So we're going to have to figure out the dynamics of all of it. Because when you look at it, when like an average ethereal book costs between $6,000 and $8,000 in production. That's before you go to print, right? That's before printing.
Yeah.
So when you talk about a book that is 4 to 5 times a regular ethereal book, you start going, holy crap! But the thing about that book is I've been paying for it for like the past year.
I think it's been like 2 or 3 years that you've been
it's
trying
been
to
a while
and trying to get things going.
It's been a while in the making for a variety of reasons. So.
It'll be gorgeous when it's done. It'll be absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
Speaking of
pages forever.
Oh
And
my God.
I think honestly, I mean, you're right. I think not a lot of people, sometimes we either forget or you don't think about it. So it's good to talk about it. It's good to remind
Yeah,
people
you
that
know,
there's a reason behind the cost and the price and everything else. So we're not trying
absolutely.
to, you're not necessarily, you're trying to pay your people, you're trying to feed your family, you're not necessarily trying to be rich, but you have to charge what you have
No,
to charge for certain things. So
that's something that we've never ever had to have. That's not part of it. You know, being rich has never been a factor.
right.
You know, I am.
But you have to be fair to your staff, your
You
team.
do. You have to be fair to everybody involved. You know, like right now, I just like we were just talking about the fact they cut off my bank account like twice today. Twice today they've cut my fucking card off. Same card because today was payday. You know, tons of people got paid. So
Sus, all that money going out. What's going on?
yeah, well, it's
Exactly.
crazy,
Robbed?
but they
Yeah.
see it every month. That's what gets me, right? Like
They don't pay attention.
They don't care.
There's
Yeah,
little robots back in there. They don't.
man.
I work for a bank. They don't pay attention.
I was so embarrassed though. They cut my card off at Walmart while I was buying groceries tonight.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, that sucks.
I
Well,
was
you're face to face
so,
with someone, so that's like, hey, by the way, I do have money,
oh
but
my
I don't know why
God,
it's not working.
right? Like, what the fuck, really? You know? So, I called my dad. I was like, dude, can you like roll up here and pay this, and I'll just give it to you tomorrow? You know what I mean? This is fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I got my son with me, who's 5 years old, and I got my wife with me, and I'm like, it wouldn't have been so, like Heather says it's not a big deal. She says it's not a big deal. To me, it is. It's a big deal to me because I don't like my family nor my team to go without. You know what I mean? And for someone to think that I didn't have the money and I just sat in fucking line for 30 minutes for no reason, it's like, this is bullshit. Because
Who's this guy? Yeah.
yeah. I'm okay when I get embarrassed for leaving my card at home because we've all done it. I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah.
But when the thing comes up and says declined, that's a whole different animal than you left the card at home. You know what I mean? Like, what in the absolute fuck? So, are you going to take this to SpawnCon with you?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You should.
I mean, I will if it doesn't leave.
Do you want to try to put it on the webpage tonight?
I mean, you don't have to. I'm gonna have a bunch of stuff.
All right. Well, just let me know because I got I'm sending you a package tomorrow with a shit ton of books in it. So.
Heard about that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
Books and prints and I don't.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I don't know about prints. I don't have a lot of prints.
Did you see this craziness just happened?
Oh no.
You had an April moment.
You did. Exactly. Your pen.
She'll tell you how to fix it. Don't throw it away.
Exactly.
She'll MacGyver the shit out of that goddamn thing.
No, I don't have pencil extenders. I'm not a dweeb like that.
She will fucking tell you.
You're dead now.
Yeah. He's like, oh my gosh. So
Here, the extenders and silliness.
I'm very excited because you guys know that we got My Metal Girl. And My Metal Girl has been just a beautiful book to work with. And but we're also going to put out our second manga next year too. So we're pretty pumped about it. You know, we Blade and April. Well, Blade and April and I worked our asses off to get it to where we could release 2 books a month. You know, we worked our absolute asses off, and we're so incredibly grateful for the 2 books a month. But eventually, that number will grow. You know what I mean? It will grow, and I don't ever want people to think that, you know, hey, look, they want to get, you know, more funds. It's not about more funds. It's about more product. It's literally about more product. It's about people seeing more stories. It's about more artists having jobs. It's about so many things.
Well, when you talk about how far ahead sometimes on the story arcs you are with the writing and what you have planned, yeah, I'm not surprised that it's going to grow because
it has to. I can't.
If you don't get this out to the world, you're going to bust.
I will explode. I'm a big
right?
Like I'm a big dude. Like I'm like 200. Like gratefully down to like from like I'm at 265 right now, and I'm until the past 2 years, I've never been over like 205. So with all the health stuff, it's just been bananas. But thankfully, I'm down like 15 pounds and I'm starting to feel good about things again. I'm starting to have a little bit more energy. So yes, I probably will explode if I don't get all this story out into the world. And that goes with all of the stories. You know what I mean? If we don't get Barbalians out, I'll flip the fuck out. If we don't get, we have other, again, we not just our own writers, but we have other people doing, imprints for Ethereal. You're going to start seeing the brand pop up all different places that you would never expected. We're probably going to start seeing them at toy stores in the next year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a lot going on. And I'm really proud of everybody involved because everybody gives it 110%. There's no half-assing around here.
It's all
They go all the way.
Oh, give it all the ass. All the ass.
Man, that's going to be our next sticker. Only all.
all yes.
And
All the
guess what it's going to have an image of? A
All that
booty.
Put that on the T-shirt.
There you
Yes.
go.
There you go. Yep.
Well, we got
Let's
some
see those
t-shirts
girls.
in development right now, so we're pretty
I'm
pumped.
excited for the t-shirts. I like the t-shirts.
Yes, the t-shirts are so much fun. The
Yeah,
t-shirt.
Are we gonna put those as like a bonus on a Kickstarter and then put them on the website, or what's the plan?
So when April gets done coloring those, we'll actually probably put them on the Halloween Kickstarter, the crossover Kickstarter,
Okay.
and then because I think we need to do one more. I think we need to do like probably a Halloween themed one.
Yeah.
And then we'll put them all on the Kickstarter because I need to go in and I need to add the other pillowcases. I need to add the implants. I am, like I said, I'm learning every day more about this website stuff, and eventually I'll probably just pay Nate to take care of it. But he's a website monster. To fuck around and find out, he's a website monster.
I believe it. Yep.
So I am to this point where I'm like, man, look, dude, I am.
Utilize those people with those talents. Go for it. Yep. That's.
I'm telling you,
that's what it's all about.
One of the talents I've been graced with in this life has been to build a good team. That is something
And knowing when to delegate.
That's it. I've been very proud of my teams in every job I've ever had. And, can't anybody say that we weren't topping teams almost every job I've had. So this is something I'm proud of. And if, when Nate was like, oh, I do this, and I was like, bullshit. And I started thinking about it. I was like, he's a computer guy.
I'm an engineer. That's what
There
I
we
do.
go. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner.
See? So I can't wait to show you guys things. Man, website will look great when
to show you.
Oh my god, I have so many fucking bananas ass things to show you. It's like I have banana pudding, right? Banana pudding is one of my favorite things in the whole fucking world. Like I could exist off of banana pudding. And like I have it. And I desperately want to share it with you all. But I'm not allowed to share it with you. And it makes me sad. Like there's so many
HR.
oh god, there's so many good wafers and there's so many good pieces of banana. Oh, I really want to share it. It's gonna be so tasty. But when you see it and I'm allowed to tell you about it, it's gonna be even better because we didn't share it. So
it's worth the wait.
It will be. I had an amazing
I will agree to disagree on that one, but okay.
Right. Well, I can't die from HR before I.
No. I don't want you in trouble with HR, but the whole thing of, it was all great because you didn't share. Yeah.
Well, there's
you keep on thinking that. That's okay.
I had a friend reach out and tell me, how excited they are that, they're If It Hops 2's coming in. And I am right there with every fucking one of you. Like, I am always excited to know that the book is coming to you. Because even if you don't get the opportunity to talk to us about your feelings about it, you have an ethereal book in your hand. And that's a powerful fucking thing to me as a person.
I want props for my patience because Dustin, you can't tell me how many times every day I've been wanting to be. Have you said it yet? Have you said it yet? Where's my package?
Mhm.
Coming.
Yep.
And I've been trying to be very good because I know you're busy. So,
Yep.
so
Well, think of it this way,
I
Shannon.
want a little recognition for the fact that I have been patient.
Admirable restraint. We appreciate that.
We do. We appreciate it. You know how many times I told people in the past 48 hours that I was grateful for them and I appreciate them, and it's the truth because every time I send out one of these books, I know that it's later than I wanted it to be. You know
Oh,
what I
and
mean?
I'm just giving you a bad time.
I know you are. I know you are. But today, like because of what today is, I literally sat and told people all day long that I appreciated them and their patience. And there were so many cordial responses. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And like, but the cool thing about it is every one of these books that was late, the amount that they were late is getting shorter and shorter because of the fact that the printers have been so phenomenal. You know, like I would be surprised. I would be surprised if an Ethereal Christmas is not here by the third week in November. I would be very, very surprised.
Oh,
And I would
cool.
also
Keep my fingers crossed for that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So with Fallen Leaves mailing out started today. Not Fallen Leaves, sorry, Underland. Underland started mailing out today. I would be surprised if all that's not out by the end of November. You know what I mean? I would.
Okay.
You know, there's the only thing I'm waiting on if it hops right now is I'm waiting on the implants, I'm waiting on the Marissa Popes, and I'm waiting on the prints. And then the rest of it, if it hops, will go out. I think that's like 15 orders out of 400 and something.
Yeah.
So, not to mention the stores orders and stuff like that, which all went out today. I did learn a masterful thing recently, and I will share it with you because it made me feel smart. I've been shipping with Pirate Ship for a couple years now, and I'm always like these big ass orders. I'm always sending in Geminis. Like if it's 15 books, I break it down between 3 Geminis. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I realized that I'm paying for each of those 3 fucking orders that goes out, which is I'll tell you another thing. I pay a lot more in shipping than we get paid in shipping. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So, and I'll never change our shipping prices because I don't think it's fair. But so anyway, I'm sitting here and I'm like, why do I want to pay $40 in shipping? And this is $40 on Pirate Ship now.
Wow.
$40 in shipping. There's got to be another way to do this. So I went to Walmart and I got these boxes at Walmart. They're only like foot tall, right? But you can fit like 10 Geminis in there if you want to, and fill it with bubble wrap.
Yep.
And I'm like, a lot of people, I don't know. I get nervous about my shipping, so I ship as tight as I can fucking ship, you know. And so I was real nervous about this at first, and then I was like, each of these boxes, each of these Geminis is taken care of like our normal Geminis that we send out. You know what I mean? They're packed the same way. But then they go in and we bubble wrap them. Then we tape them to the next Gemini and bubble wrap that Gemini. Then we tape that Gemini. So they don't move. Like they don't fucking move at all. And I probably kill myself on bubble wrap is probably
So it's no longer the postage, now it's the actual.
yeah. Now it's the bubble wrap. You know, it's somebody's getting my fucking money. You know what I need to figure out? I need to figure out who will sell me bubble wrap wholesale. That's what the fuck.
Oh yeah.
But
That would be the trick.
I mean, you know,
Walmart had the best price on the biggest roll you could find. It was like $15, but
not
they
no
were
more. They don't.
yeah.
Nowadays, Walmart fucking bubble wrap is fucking eating my soul.
Yeah.
Like it's awful.
So I'd make one recommendation. I used to use Pirate Ship too,
Yeah.
but then I changed over to Shippo and got better rates.
Shippo. Don't fuck with me while I'm live. Now I'm curious about what a Shippo is.
You gotta go do.
Send me the link.
What the fuck is a Shippo? Hold on now. Shippo.
Shippo. I will actually send you the link. Hold on.
I
There we go.
found Shippo.
There we go.
Use Shippo. Shippo compared to pirate ship. Pirate ship.
Nate has sent him down a whole different rabbit hole now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
down a whole other rabbit hole.
Well, and the reason is, you guys know I used to run a toy business, so guess
Yep,
what?
yep.
So
Yeah.
I have to get
We're
the
not
best
talking about
shipping.
shipping charges, like Lordy.
Oh. They say that dumb people can't use Shippo. Uh-oh. Nate, Nate, what are your Shippo rates? Fuck.
Well, now that they've added the USPS Ground Advantage, that's a lot cheaper than what it used to be for shipping with USPS.
Yes. Well, the only thing with USPS that gets me, I like this advantage thing. I'm about this advantage thing. But they won't let me ship the big boxes. UPS still lets me ship the big boxes cheaper than USPS.
Mhm.
I can do UPS ground, and I can ship one of those boxes with like 9 Geminis in it with, I don't know, 80 books in it for fucking $12.50 almost anywhere in the country.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what's nice about Shippo. It does all of those. It'll compare all of them for you.
Man,
It does FedEx, DHL, UPS, USPS.
and they use FedEx too. Fuck DHL. They tried to kill my goddamn elves.
They did, yeah.
They did kill your elves.
It was
They did.
awful.
Yes, they didn't try. They sadly
No, they
succeeded.
succeeded. They're like, fuck your elves and their sweet ass booties.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the main reasons why I use Shippo too is for international. They have some of the best FedEx rates for international.
Do they? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, they do
Might be
FedEx.
worth it
Too?
right there, just at least for the international. That'd be great because I know that those prices are just astronomical.
I use
It's-
FedEx when I ship prints and I ship original art. I always use FedEx. I don't, and that's just because they'll pack it for me. You know what I mean? Well, original art makes me nervous.
Something for that, yeah.
I know.
Like-
I've got so much in your office that I'm waiting on.
You do. You have, well, you'll start getting that here shortly. Well, I told you, you don't get that until the rest of the shit goes out. That's not fair.
No, I
So
know that.
Have to hang out. So,
I figure that's why mine also is towards the tail end as well because I have a few pieces too.
do you with me or do you have them with Joseph?
That's me.
Oh, is that you? Okay.
I'm still
sure.
wearing them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Because I remember originally you were talking about potentially sending it over to Dustin for something else, so I wasn't sure if that was still the plan or not.
Yeah, I'm still gonna do that. I just suck.
That's okay. I love you anyway.
All right, thank you.
Slide.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure. Yeah.
so you guys, you and Renee are going to be at SpawnCon,
Born corn.
and
Yeah,
that's
in
like
Denver.
2 weeks from now, right? A
Yeah,
little
we're gonna get some books and prints and all kinds of ethereal swag.
dope. I'm
Stuff at
excited.
least, I don't know it.
I don't have a bunch of prints, but I'm gonna send you a shit ton of books and stuff.
Yeah.
I might send you a pillowcase too.
Okay.
I mean, I don't care if you sell it or keep it. You know, that's up to you.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll try. We'll see what I can do.
Well, you know, it should be fun. I think that there's going to be actually going to be like half a dozen ethereal members at that fucking show. So it should be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to have a great time. Not to mention the showrunner works for the brand now. So
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. He's done some fan art too.
yeah.
Is that what we're
Done
doing?
some fan art. He's also he's writing the spinoff for If It Hops. I'm not editing.
Yeah.
So it should be a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to have a great time, and anybody that goes will definitely get to spend some time with Bladen and Renee, and Dan Kemp will be there. Dave Kemp will be there. You know, it's going to be a good show. I think that you guys are going to have a great time. I'm mad.
I love it that it's right before Halloween. That's so fun.
Yeah, well, it's on Halloween, is it not?
No, it's the weekend leading up, but yeah, pretty much.
Okay, right on. It's going to be a lot of fun though. I'm excited. I know that you guys are. You guys have after party invitations and stuff for that one, so
That's cool.
So it should be tons of fun. But all right, so we're almost at the 2-hour mark. Let's see where we're at. Where are we at? We're at 2,425 right now.
Boom.
We're working toward our first stretch goal, which is a trading card. So the trading cards are badass.
Yes.
Like they are badass. They are like, well, these are blanks, so don't take these for, but they're like actual trading cards. They're like not like cheapo. They're as good as any fucking Fleer card you've ever had. So I'm excited. You know what? I'll tell you this. So my daughter is a big Pokemon fan. So we collect cards together. That's something that she and I do together. And I will say that our cards feel better in your hand than these fucking that one. These fucking cards. It's craziness. But I've been saying it since the beginning. We make sure the product is worth your time. Everything we do, we make sure that it feels good in your hand. It looks good, smells good. Probably doesn't taste good, but see, we'll get there eventually. We'll probably do something for a show, like sponsoring fucking Frog Legs, and do something for a show.
Flavors.
We'll bring food and shit. We'll just bring food.
Spice, that'll make HR happy.
Yes. Speaking of HR, I'm trying to get HR to come to this show in January with me, so
yeah,
should be a lot of fun. Yeah, trying to make that happen.
That's a nice rookie there, Clayton.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And so, oh my goodness. Well, like I said, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I'm really glad you guys hung out with me. And Sean and Nate, we love them to pieces. They're some of our favorite friends ever. And Bladen, we know we're very grateful you got to come hang out.
Yeah.
And that original piece that he just finished will probably be available as well. So
nice.
There's a man. Look here.
It's a Ricky.
We're not on Twitch, so you're not gonna. Yeah.
What's the matter?
Yeah.
He's drawing a dinosaur thing again.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't see anything. Right.
I saw that.
Anyway, I don't know why. The cool thing about most of these pieces that Bladen puts up and we sell are scans. You get the original, but we scan them, and there are chances that they become artwork. Or
so you get the one that I fondled with my dirty little brush.
That's right.
You're welcome.
And then we color other ones and stuff. So holy shit! So don't forget. All right. So Where They Dwell is live right now.
Yeah, get it.
Absolutely
Get on
slam it.
Yep.
Hey, Bladen, did you see this page? Look at this fucking page.
Yeah, I did see that because I see all the pages on there.
It's an exciting page.
Justin's just so excited he has to reshare it with everybody. So
Yeah, he's good. It's all good. Yep.
it's all good.
I have to reshare all the fun things before we cut out.
April.
That one is fucking Jesus. It's so good, it's gross. Like it's so good. Like when you bite something that tastes so fucking good, you don't even know how to deal with how it tastes. That's what that's like. That's just
the more you look at it, the more details you find. A little.
Yeah, man. Like fuck around. So good. Anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you, and we're gonna, get out of here. And I haven't eaten since this morning, so I'm gonna find something. Yeah, man, I'm gonna find something to scavenge something around here without waking anybody up.
Yeah.
But thanks so very much for hanging out with us again. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you supporting the brand. We appreciate you guys supporting the artists. fuck around, get on that goddamn Kickstarter and find your favorite artist on there, because guarantee you're going to find something that's badass. Something is on there that's going to catch your attention. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, don't forget, speaking of shit, you see how fast fucking old braided handrail right there knocked that shit out?
That's what
You've got
I know.
blank cover ops on the new campaign. So if you guys get on there and you're like, damn, he can draw cool ass shit, you know what? He can draw cool ass shit on blank covers too. So
For you.
That's
for
right.
you, specifically for you. So all you do is go, hey guy, here's this. Can you do this? And April also has blank cover ops on there.
Yeah.
And I loved what she did with that dude that wanted the Galactus for Seas.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Mhm.
Well, you know what? If you go with April, she'll actually color it for you too. I'm a
Yes.
little lazy. I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing it. You can't make me.
Okay, the amount of detail you put in your inks is fine.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
all right. I'll take that.
Yes, ridiculously good. All right. Anyway, guys, have a great evening.
Bye.
Cover the campaign, and we'll see you
Bye,
shortly.
everyone.
Bye.